Hi friends, it's Ashley and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 cozy fantasy books that are coming out this August and September. And all these are adult books except for one that is a middle grade. And as usual, we're going to talk about them in order of release date from soonest to latest. Book number 1 comes out on August 25th and it's Daggerbound by T. Kingfisher. And this one takes place in the same world as his author's other book, Sword Heart. I read this one last year and adored it, and so I am excited to return to this world and meet some new characters and go on a new adventure. And so I'm going to read the description of this one to give you an idea of what this book is about. So it reads, Learned Edmund, a disillusioned scholar, is transporting yet another precious relic from one stuffy temple to a different stuffy temple. Another great adventure for the ages. But when Edmund is set upon by bandits, in desperation he breaks the cardinal rule and grabs for the relic, an ancient sword. To his surprise, instead of unleashing a rusty ancient weapon, an alarmingly handsome man appears, wielding daggers of blue steel and cutting the thieves down. This man is the dervish, an immortal warrior who's been trapped for centuries in a sword of enchanted steel, and he is angry as hell about it. He hates the curse that put him there, and he wants to hate Edmund just as he has hated every wielder before him. But the damned scholar is just so sweet and clever and kind, and while the dervish may be able to protect Edmund from bandits, cultists, dragons, and strange inhuman diplomats, he may find it much harder to protect his own heart. Book number 2 also comes out on August 25th, and it's the Magic Library of Waterfall Way by Julie Abbey. And this is the one middle grade book that is on this list. And this one caught my eye because I have read the Ava Evergreen duology by this author, and these books were just very delightful and heartwarming. And this new one by her just sounds like it's going to be just as heartwarming and delightful as the Ava Evergreen books were. And these books definitely gave Kiki's Delivery Service vibes. And I love Kiki's Delivery Service, and the description for this new one also says that it's perfect for fans of Kiki's Delivery Service. And so let me just read you the description of this one to give you an idea of what it's about. The Altarian Empire hasn't seen an unremarkable in centuries, until Lyra Hunt. All Lyra wants is a guild to call home, preferably one with a library full of storybooks. But because she is cursed with horrible luck, nearly everyone has rejected her. Then Lyra stumbles upon the secretive guild of scholars in the cozy village of Waterfall Way. With their tight-knit community and magical library, this might finally be the perfect place for her. However, to be accepted, she must recover the scholars' crystal, the source of their magic that was lost in a terrible fire. With the help of a mischievous furry friend, Lyra must brave the library's cursed halls. Lyra may have an extremely unremarkable past, but she'll do whatever it takes to find a home where she belongs. So this one just sounds really heartwarming and cozy, and I love that there's a library in it, and also that Lyra is going to have an animal companion. Book number 3 comes out on September 1st, and it's the Hocus Pocus Handbook by Aguire. This one is a standalone, and I have read a book by this author before. I've read her other cozy fantasy, The Only Purple House in Town, and I read this a couple years ago, and this was just so fun and whimsical and cozy. And this new one also sounds like it's going to have those same vibes. And so the description for this one reads, Thea Winter didn't choose to be a changeling. Stolen from the mortal world as a baby, raised in the wildlands by a hobgoblin named Mudge, who taught her everything worth knowing. How to read the weather in a crow's wing, how to barter with brownies, how to stay alive in a world of capricious fey courts. What Mudge couldn't teach her was how to stay out of trouble, which is why she's entangled in a marriage of convenience. Or would be, but her spouse bolted. Now she has to hunt down Devin J. Fenlon, but she's been saddled with a taciturn, humorless hunter known as Winter's Hound. He answers only to his cousin, and she's not looking forward to this quest at all. Kerberos has survived the Winter Court by being exactly what they made him, relentless, invisible, and careful never to want anything at all. His life is an endless series of ceaseless commands from his reprehensible cousin, Lord Liscull. Since his father's failed rebellion, Kerberos has been permitted to survive only as an example to others, an object lesson as to how far one may fall. But traveling with Thea, wild, warm, impossible Thea, is a glorious torment for an enforcer who has never known freedom. She is sunshine, he is shadow. Their love is forbidden. But when irresistible force sweeps on an immovable object, the resulting reaction might be magical. So this one sounds like it's going to be really cute and sweet, and it also has one of my favorite tropes, which is grumpy sunshine. Book number 4 also comes out on September 1st, and it's The Pumpkin Bride by Fiona Buttercup. So this one is described as Shrek meets the Princess Bride, and so description reads, a cursed knight, Sir Bram Duncan, was once a knight of legend in Harvest Hollow, until the whim of a jealous prince and the trickery of an autumn sprite turned him into the hulking orc Jas Bonecracker, and tethered him to Grimroot Farm. For 3 long, lonely years, he's hidden his monstrous form and the truth of what happened the night he lost everything, including his true love, Princess Marigold. A runaway princess. Fleeing an arranged marriage to the vain and intolerable Prince Crispin, Marigold finds a safe haven when she stumbles across Jas's charmed pumpkin farm deep in the forest. Sensing glimmers of gentleness and a surprising talent for baking beneath the grumpy orc's imposing exterior, she begins to feel a familiar longing she believed dead when her Bram disappeared. One true love. As magic stirs and pies are baked, truths about Jas's curse begin to surface. But curses don't break easily, and wronged princes don't surrender. As their peace is threatened, Jask and Marigold must decide, cling to the lies that protect them, or risk everything for a love that could set them free. And then the tropes are also listed. It says Grumpy Sunshine, Dark Secret, Beauty and the Beast, Hidden Identity, Second Chance, Childhood Sweetheart, One True Love. So this one just sounds cozy and sweet and adorable, and I love the fall vibes that it's giving. Also is definitely giving Princess Bride vibes and Shrek vibes from that description. And also, I really like the little detail that says our orc has a talent for baking. And I just think like whenever there's baking in a book, it just makes it that much more cozier. Book number 5 comes out on September 8th, and it's Meet Cute Magic by Morgan Elizabeth. So this one is an interconnected standalone, and it's book 1 in the Heartland Hollow series. So this one is an enemies to lovers witchy fantasy romance. And the description for this one reads, she's a witch who can't fall in love without getting her heart broken. He holds a grudge like no other. Bookstore owner Rosie Mayfield wants a love of her own, but it's not meant to be because of her family's curse. To break it, she conjures a ghost who will break her curse, but for a cost. She has to brew a potion to help him transition to the other side. The problem? There's only one person who hates Rosie in all of Heartwood Hollow, and she needs his help to complete the required task. Jack Haggerty, the ghost's grandson, has lamented about Rosie for years. She's a disaster, and she's forbidden from visiting his gaming shop. He doesn't believe in ghosts, so he's stunned when his beloved grandfather makes an appearance. While he loves his family and will do anything to help his grandpa, he fights against the chemistry brewing between him and Rosie until he can't anymore. But he doesn't know how to tell her he no longer wants to go through with the plan, and she won't admit that she's falling for him because they're doomed from the start. So first off, the cover of this one is just really cute, and I love the fall vibes that it's given. And I also love that our main female character is a bookshop owner and the love interest owns a gaming shop. And it seems like the relationship between the two of them is just going to be a lot of fun. Book number 6 and the final book on this list comes out on September 29th, and it's The Lost Spectacular by Zoe Duhaime. This one is a standalone, and the description reads, Noon Bonaventure and Monroe Forest weren't always rivals chasing each other through the pages of books. They grew up listening to stories from Monroe's grandmother and arguing over their favorites. But then one night, they discovered the Spectacular, a mysterious, ever-changing festival glittering with everything lost. Lone pearl earrings and apple orchards, abandoned first drafts and shipwrecks, a sky full of umbrellas. This spectacular, found only by invitation or in the pages of misprints, is the most precious thing in the world. In its wake, stories settle. Noon has always been the sort to move on with grace, and Monroe goes into the business of never letting go. Their divide, starker than ever, after a misstep abruptly closes the door on what could have been. Now long estranged, yet forever drawn to one another, Noon and Monroe's differences have defined their ways of life. Monroe, an ambitious museum curator, vows his next exhibit will trap the Spectacular and return its lost treasures, while Noon, queen of cat and mouse, has been chosen as the next captain of the show. As opening night for Monroe's exhibit draws closer, he and Noon will have to stop running and finally agree on how their story ends, and perhaps find a way to start again. So this one just sounds so whimsical and magical. It's reminding me of a cross between The Night Circus and Watermoon, which are both books that I loved. Alright, so those are 6 cozy fantasy books coming out this August and September. At the moment, I would say I'm most excited for The Pumpkin Bride because of the fall vibes that it's given, and that's the mood that I'm currently in, is a fall vibes mood because I'm getting ready for my fall reading and making my fall TBR. But let me know down below which ones caught your eye. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye!